needs to pay for it, and it shouldn't be the taxpayer.
On the forest reserves that have been reclaimed, let's bring in Erastus Asaredonko to try and, sort of fact check some of the fact there. Erastus, you've been working so hard on this. Can you confirm the number of forest reserves that government has successfully reclaimed?
Well, when you say reclaimed, do you suggest? Do you mean has taken back from illegal miners?
Yeah, exactly. Has taken back from illegal miners. Yes, as put out by the minister.
I would have loved the minister to mention which forest reserves specifically they've taken or clawed back from illegal miners. Then I'll be able to tell him what is happening in that forest. Because if you put it in a blanket statement that you've clawed back 9 out of the forest reserves that are under siege, I wouldn't know and I wouldn't be able to fact check it. But let him come up with the names. Which forests have they clawed back? Because I have updates on some of these forest reserves. Then I'll be able to tell him what is happening in that reserve.
So what do you know so we can compare the two?
So what I know is that the forests that were under siege during the old regime, I can talk about Tananya specifically because that's a GSBA that was invaded in the previous administration and it entered into this administration. Certain elements within this administration took over and said they were mining. They have so far cleared 3 groups that were mining within the forest. 2 groups who started that invasion are still there as we speak, mining in the Tananya Forest Reserve. I also brought pictures, updates of mining in the Boytano GSBA within the Datano and Ohiampenika section. Those Chinese miners and their Ghanaian collaborators are still there as we speak, mining in the Boytano Forest Reserve. Tano Nimre, Ohiampenika section, they are still there mining as we speak. So I would have wished that we had specific names of forests, then I'll be able to tell him. When we go to the Offin Shelter Belt, a number of people took over this year. They cleared some of them were there about 2 weeks ago. There were still remnants of them still mining in that forest. The Jimira Forest Reserve, we kept posting updates of mining in that forest reserve. Recently, RESEC sent some soldiers to that area. I understand they picked about 15 excavators. They brought them to Nkarie. They've been picked up from Nkarie. I don't know where they've been taken. But there are attempts to get back into the forest to mine again. So I can talk about Etiwa Forest Reserve. Etiwa, I have confirmation that they cleared the excavators that were in there. The remnants as we speak are those using simple tools, still mining within the forest reserve. So let the minister give us updates, specific names. Then we'll be able to put the real situation in those forests out there for people.
Okay, Rastos, I'm grateful to you for this. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Do I still have Awulasa on the line? Okay, so that's it there. But this has been Top Story brought to you by TLSL, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. We'll still keep tabs on, the issues about illegal mining in Ghana and get you updated and informed on what exactly is happening. This is Joy 99.7 FM. Up next is Newsnight.
Auntie T, abeg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, we the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, if you get your own data and call packages, falla! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want town. That star 530 hash, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Brush your teeth every day and night. Up and down and all around. Brush your teeth and dry. Pepsodent, cavity protection.
This advert is FDA approved.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining in my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me da with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, boss. I just drove out of your premises. I've called you several times. Boss, I beg.
I gave you an opportunity to present your proposal with your financial statements. You didn't. If we approve and request for an invoice, that will take you another month, eh? You couldn't even provide receipts from the last job. My brother, we have given the contract to someone else who promptly furnished us with what we needed. Get serious.
Yehoah.
Don't be caught in this mess ever again. Restart with Build. Build provides businesses with a comprehensive accounting software with features that make your bookkeeping, accounting, tax, and payroll functions seamless. Our support team is always available to assist and respond to all your inquiries. Log on to www.build.africa and sign up. Call 030-80-4007 or 0303-974-832 for more information. Build. Bookkeeping made simple. Results made extraordinary.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and over 30 affiliates across the country. Coming up tonight, lawyers for investigative journalist Anas Aremeyaw maintains the trial of the case between Anas and Mbato, former MP for Asin Central, is over as they await full written judgment of the court to trigger the full $18 million damages award.
Damages award of $18 million encourages or forms opposing counsel. In that regard, these are post-trial motions. The trial is over and the jury was discharged. That is the end of the trial.
Also, Magistrate Court remands former Tiger IPI Daniel Owusu Kuranteng into prison custody over the murder of journalist Ahmed Suale.
Of April, when you get
the police said they would amend their charge sheet. As I said, it's shambolic. It doesn't hold any water. So we'll see what they come back with, and we'll see what the business of the day will be.
We have details as suspect admit to taking photos of the deceased but denies selling those photos to the former MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, and in business.
Well, Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor rules out total cancellation of the Gold for Oil program as government set up a committee to review the initiative.
And it's supposed to be in Parliament where MPs have been urging Black Stars to end winless streak ahead of World Cup qualifiers against Chad and Madagascar.
And later in the bulletin, IGP Christian Teteyono makes sweeping changes to the police management board with former EOCO boss COP Mame Yatiwa Adodankwa heading to the police research and development department. These and more coming up here on this. You can share with us your thought via WhatsApp 0551111997 0551111997. This is Newsnight. Well, let's settle for details of these stories. Now, the managing director of ISPI company, Daniel Osukuranting, has been remanded in custody by the Medina Magistrate Court as a suspect in the murder of undercover journalist Ahmed Suale. He faces a provisional charge of, murder in connection with assassination that has remained unresolved for years, raising significant concerns about the safety of journalists in Ghana. Mr. Kuranting, who we understand has had some sort of relationship with the Taga IPI, is affectionately known as Akwesi Amache, is the first individual to be arrested in relation to Suale's death and could play a key role in uncovering the identities of those behind the cold-blooded killing of the journalist. My colleague Latif Idris, who has been in court the whole day on this particular subject, and joins me in studio with more. Latif, first of all, tell us about the demeanor of the suspect when you saw him in court.
Yes, so the demeanor, Daniel Kuranting appeared in court in the company of his lawyers and prosecutors. He was in a sea blue long sleeve shirt, in a blue jeans, and a brown shoe to match. He was also having ponytail. If you recall, police sources told us that he was picked up at a salon. If you are connecting the dots, that means maybe he was at a salon working on his hair when the police picked him up. He was calm, cool, and collected. And then he appeared before the magistrate. And then it was very swift. There was no long delays. He stood his grounds and addressed the court as and when he was asked to do so. Kojo.
Okay. Now, what charges? We understand he's a suspect in this matter.
Yeah.
The first one to be arrested. But do we know the charges that have been preferred against him?
Yes. So, like you said in your intro, he's been charged provisionally with murder, and these are the reasons why prosecutors believe that he is the suspect and therefore charging him with murder. They believe that one, the suspect, Kuranting, has admitted that he took photos of the deceased, Ahmed Suale. He has admitted that he knew him, Ahmed Suale, because they worked together with the Tiger IPI. He has admitted to prosecutors that he knows the former member of parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapong.
Okay.
And that he used to visit the former member of parliament, Kennedy Ejapong. Now, the prosecutors are drawing that connection that, okay, this same former member of parliament, we all know, brandished the photos of Ahmed Suale on his television station. And subsequently, he was killed. I mean, he didn't only brandish the photos, he urged his supporters to beat up the journalists wherever they find him when he brandished that. So the connection here, as far as the prosecutors is concerned, is that he sold the photos of Ahmed Suale to Kennedy Ejapong. But Kuranting denies that flatly. He says he did not sell Ahmed Suale's photos to the former member of parliament for Asin Central. That he denies. The prosecutors also make the case that, and before I go there, you recall that police sources had told us that Ahmed Suale's telephone or cell phone had been taken to the United States because the FBI is involved in these investigations. At least that's what we've been told by police sources. The sources or the prosecutors are now telling the court that call records, they've been able to trace Amache at the residence or in the neighborhood of Ahmed Suale on the night of his assassination. And that at around 11:15 p.m., just after the assassination, call records also shows that he fled, and these are the words in the charge sheet. He fled Ahmed Suale's residence to his own residence as Amasaman. Again, prosecutors are drawing the connections. They are trying to connect the dots. That he was found, or the call records are showing that he was at the location, and that he fled the location immediately after Ahmed Suale was assassinated. So they believe that he is an accessory in this particular matter, and they've even gone ahead to charge him with murder of the slain journalist.
Quite intriguing. There are a lot of details to come out in the coming days when they go to court.
Yeah, and again, they picked him on because they told the court again in the charge sheet that they attempted to bring him in for interrogation, but he fled the jurisdiction. On that matter, his lawyers strongly opposed to that because they believe that the suspect had been in Ghana all this while and that he has not fled from the jurisdiction to evade being interrogated
so there's
by
a contest
prosecution.
as to whether he has fled the jurisdiction because he's been around all this while. But what do we know to be the next on this particular case?
Yeah, so we know that now it's been adjourned. The case will be recalled on April 1 when the suspect is expected to be recalled back in court.
Okay. Now, the GJA has been keenly following the matter and been calling for justice for the deceased journalist. The Journalists Association has given a 2-month ultimatum to the Ghana Police Service to bring significant progress to the investigation and prosecution of those responsible for the murder of investigative journalist Ahmed Suale and assault on multimedia journalist yourself, Latif Idrisu.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is one of the cases they are following keenly, the Ghana Journalists Association. And so this is going to bring some relief, if you like, in the front of the Journalists Association because it's something they've been pushing for. And finally, the first suspect has been picked up. And the hope of the association is that this will lead to some significant progress as far as Ahmed Suale's assassination is concerned.
Let's speak to Kofi Esel. He is lawyer for suspect, and also we'll be speaking to family spokesperson for the slain
Ahmed Suale.
Cameo there. But lawyer, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now, first off, how is your client holding up?
Good evening. Good evening to your listeners. Hello.
With you, I want to find out how your client is holding up in all of this. In all of this.
Yes. He's doing very well. We just hope the police would work within the confines of the professional standards of policing. Yes.
Have they shown anything that comes across to you that they may not do exactly what you're talking about?
No, I haven't said so. I'm just saying we just hope.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you said what's my concern? How is he holding up? And I'm saying it's fine. And we are just praying.
Okay. Now,
the return date. Yes.
At what point did he become a person of interest in this matter?
I think this question it will be best answered by the police, not counsel for the suspect or accused.
Well, I was thinking that probably you've been briefed on all of that, but that's fine. Has he admitted to? I mean, when we listen to the brief from the court, we want to find out indeed if he admitted to taking photos of the deceased, but we also know he rejected claims that he sold same to the former MP, Kennedy Japan. Why was he taking the photographs then in the first place?
Oh, I think it should be put in context. The issue about the photos, it's been taken out of context that he took pictures of him. Let me ask you if you have never taken a picture together with Latif or Evans Mensah or something Ladi. One way or the other.
Well,
someone takes pictures with somebody, and you have an allegation against him, and you find pictures of he and him as colleagues from the same office. Does it lead to a conclusion that he has pictures of him, so he sold pictures to whoever showed it on a media platform, and the court is there, and then let alone to charge him with the offense of murder? While the facts are saying that he gave pictures out or whatever, he sold it. Does it lead to that conclusion? Yes, circumstantial evidence doesn't lead in there. There's no nexus between the facts, the evidence they say they have, and even the charge, the offense of murder in the first place. I believe it's just something to throw blinkers on the judicial lens to just give them a remand.
But if he took pictures of the deceased, police say according to court records, he was at the scene. He was in the vicinity of Ahmed Suale when he was killed, and that just after he was killed, they used the word fled to his own home in Amasaman. Isn't the police trying to then connect those details to the murder of the journalist, and that's why they picked your client up as a suspect?
Sir, respectfully, in our constitution, there's that presumption of innocence. The police haven't proven anything. There's no scintilla of evidence. They just threw about allegations. And a multitude of allegations does not crystallize into any evidence. Suspicions, allegations do not crystallize into any evidence. You know that our seminal case, Ali Kasana versus the state, it doesn't conclude in any way. There's no conclusion. And even this things they are saying, that is when the judiciary comes in. There should be a judicial inquiry into whatever they said. We are not there. And then we shouldn't presume him guilty. And it's also even a media person like you are. Just as Ahmed, my heart goes out to the family, but it doesn't mean someone just should be bundled up and then thrown into cells or jail without a judicial inquiry into the matter. For the police would have to prove their case. I don't know about this picture thing and videos that whoever showed it on some platform, so it's linked to him having sold or leaked or whatever. What's the nexus between pictures and a murder? Do pictures, photographs on paper or soft copies on the internet, does it kill somebody? Murder, you're talking about the elements of murder. If there's a weapon involved, what was the intent behind it? How would someone work with someone, leak the pictures, and then go and kill him? Leak pictures to be shown on TV, and he himself will go to Medina and go and kill him. I mean, that's preposterous. I don't want to be using words, but I mean, it's preposterous. That is placed at the scene of the murder. Who would even orchestrate such a plan to go and kill a colleague and still be at Medina to show what? The house that is the house? Are we in the 18th century? I have to walk to Medina to show a place? Please, respectfully.
So
with all due respect to the listeners.
So you think this is much ado about nothing?
If we can put it that way. It's just people blowing hot air.
Okay. Grateful to you, Kofi Esel, lawyer for suspect in the Ahmed Suale murder. Camille is family spokesperson for Ahmed Suale. Camille, I'm grateful to you for joining. Now, you've been calling for justice for your brother. How does the family receive this news that finally a suspect has been picked up in this case?
This comes as a very, very welcome call to the family. We are very happy. At least we are seeing that something is coming out, because this case has been hanging for 6 years and over now. And for 6 years, a young guy has been murdered, and every day when you go to the CID headquarters, all they will tell you is, we are still on it, we are still on it. At a point in time, we said justice was never going to come. But this is showing signs of what is really going to happen. So we are happy.
All right.
Not for us, but for you, the journalists, because our brother is gone. Your colleague faced the same thing. So if justice don't come to this case, such people will still have the strength to do same thing, knowing they will go scot-free. But if justice is served, anyone who wants to do same in future will know that no matter how far he runs, justice will one day catch up with him.
Okay. All right. Camille, I'm grateful to you for speaking to us here on Newsnight. Now, let's move away from that, but also in a related development, lawyers for investigative journalists, Anas Aremeyaw have strongly maintained that the trial between Anas and embattled former MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Ohinejapan, is over. A U.S. court on Thursday, March 13, awarded $18 million in damages against the former MP in a defamation case brought before it by Anas Aremeyaw through a jury trial. But counsels for the former MP have currently filed a remediator asking the court to reduce the $18 million charges awarded, a move which has sparked public controversy over whether the case has indeed ended or not. We'll be getting some more answers to that shortly, but first, this is the position of the plaintiff's counsel, Evans Selassie Atika.
Per the procedural rules that apply to this case in Essex County, New Jersey, the jury has the absolute power to award, that means find culpability and award damages. Now, that's sacrosanct, and that's one side of the issue. Now, does the judge have any supervisory powers? Absolutely yes, and that is written in black letter law. But that doesn't take away from the fact that the jury has awarded $18 million. Now, there's a video circulating in the media where the judge, at the end of stating a breakdown of the damages award of $18 million, encourages or informs counsel, opposing counsel, which is Honorable Kennedy Japon's lawyer, to file whatever motions he deems fit in that regard. These are post-trial motions. The trial is over, and the jury was discharged. That is the end of the trial. That doesn't stop you from invoking the supervisory jurisdiction of the court. They did so once already, immediately after the jury came back on Thursday, asking the judge to issue a remediature, which is the legal term of art for the judge's exercise of his supervisory powers in making a downward departure from the damages award made by the jury. Now, it is worthy to note that the judge cannot do this in isolation. The judge is guided by law.
How many days does has to make this $18 million payment?
It's not a matter of days. It's a matter of us getting judgment and beginning to enforce the judgment.
When would the judgment be out?
That is going to depend on the skill of the lawyers and their aggressiveness.
So when do you expect the court to bring this out?
We as we speak, my co-counsel, I believe, will be doing that this morning. He'll be presenting a draft judgment to the court for the judge's signature. And at the end of yesterday's hearing, the judge did tell us to prepare that and present it.
So that's the lawyer there. Fortunately, we have him on the line. Selassie Adika, I'm grateful to you for joining. First, what were the exact charges you raised in court, and how did the earlier $30 million demanding charges come down to $18 million?
Thank you, and good evening to your cherished listeners. In terms of charges, because this is a civil claim, we did not lay any charges in our complaint. Instead, what we laid were counts of civil causes of action stemming from defamatory statements that the Honorable Kennedy Ejapong made about our client in the state of New Jersey in the United States of America. So that's the basis for the jury's award.
Okay, so it's basically based on what they deem as defamatory. And again, people are even asking, why New Jersey? Why that jurisdiction, really?
Because Mr. Ejapong, on the audio-visual recording that was a centerpiece of our evidentiary presentation to the jury, admitted that he made the statements in question while he was seated in his home in the state of New Jersey. So that is the basis upon which jurisdiction was appropriate in New Jersey.
Okay. Now, the defendant, we understand, has filed a remediature in court, which, if the court grants, could beat the damages down, which the court is yet to determine. Why do you insist the case is over then?
Let us be very clear that the defendants have not filed a remediature. If they have, I haven't seen it yet. We haven't been served with same yet. What transpired was that the jury came back as far back as Thursday last week. The trial lasted from Monday through Thursday, and the jury was charged at approximately 4:15 to 4:30 p.m. on Thursday and returned a verdict, a unanimous 8-0 verdict, within 25 to 30 minutes. We decided once that verdict was announced, the lawyer for the Honorable Kennedy Ejapong made an oral motion for remediature on the basis that the award shocks the conscience. That's a term of art. Now, when a lawyer makes that assertion, he has to satisfy a two-part test. But I recall very vividly the judge basically responded and said he had heard
opposing counsel and will take it under advisement. And to be honest with you, the courtroom was very silent when the $18 million was announced. So it makes sense that he would make that oral motion right away on his feet. Well, when we reconvened for on Tuesday, he renewed his motion, and the judge informed him that he had denied it, and he never said. Well, let me just be specific. Let me be precise. Sorry, the lawyer raised the issue yesterday in court, and the judge, and according to the lawyer, he said the judge had promised to rule on his oral motion. The judge informed him in open court that he made no such promises, and that the case would proceed as is. So that is what transpired. And to support my point, there is a letter that is written by the lawyer for the Honorable Kennedy Japong, which supports my point. The letter is dated 17th of this month, which was the day before yesterday. So if anything else has gone on since then, in that letter, the lawyer states that he made an oral motion and was supporting the same with a letter, I believe what was a letter brief that was addressed to the judge and to the lead lawyer of our team. But if anything else has gone on, we don't know about any motions filed.
Okay.
It is their prerogative to file any post-trial motions if they deem fit. But until we are served with anything, and that we stand firm in our position that the jury made an award, and the judges asked us to present a judgment for his signature and the seal of the court.
Okay. So on what basis then did the judge question the jury as to how they arrived at the 18 million?
Great question. So at the beginning of the trial, opposing counsel, the lawyer for the Honorable Kennedy Japong, bifurcated the trial. What that means is that he reserved the punitive damages phase for after the jury's finding of culpability and the award of compensatory damages. So after he made the motion for remediature to reduce the $18 million on Thursday, the judge then informed the jury that they were going to come back on Tuesday to proceed to hear evidence on the punitive damages phase. So the jury came back. They heard evidence. I think even before they heard evidence, opposing counsel had renewed his oral motion, and which was denied once more. And then the jury was brought in. The jury heard evidence. The jury went back to deliberate, and the jury refused to award any more damages on the basis that the $18 million that they awarded on Friday was they broke it down in terms of compensatory damages, which make up $10 million, and punitive damages, which makes up $8 million. So after essentially what the jury said was that we're not going to award any more damages because we already apportioned punitive damages, which then gave the rise to the question as to whether the jury exceeded their instructions, and what the those were the issues before the court. We took the position that the judge has the ability to cure any mischief, and if you read the letter that the lawyer for the Honorable Kennedy Japong wrote to the court, there's talk about the court not molding the damages. What that means is that he was essentially arguing that the court should not allow the jury to now break down the damages and to declare a mistrial of the entire trial, including the liability phase of the case. And the judge flatly refused to do that. And so the judge proceeded to take the jury's verdict and from Thursday, combined with their explanation yesterday, and that's what you see in the video that's circulating, where the judge is reading out the jury's verdict.
Okay.
So essentially, that's what transpired in court.
So is your team ready to deal with the matter if there is any case for a mistrial?
The judge has already ruled on the issue of a mistrial.
So
the judge has already made his ruling on the issue of the mistrial.
All right. So
the only issue before the court now is an issue of remittiture, whether the jury exceeded its mandate in awarding or in a portion of the damages that were awarded on Thursday as punitive damages. Now, it is important to note that, if the judge were to, I think the most that can happen now is that if the judge was to say he lacked the power to cure, he would essentially strike out the punitive damages and perhaps impanel a new jury for us to make our presentation for punitive damages, which could now escalate to about 5 times of the 10 million, which would put the new award possibly around $50 million. So that's it's their prerogative if they want to chart their course. We're ready to face them in court. But as far as we're concerned right now, we are going to proceed to present a draft judgment to the court for the judge's signature and a seal of the court, so we can proceed to enforcement. Now, it is also worthy to note that the Honorable Kennedy Jafone has a strong legal team that understands the hazards that they're facing currently, and they've opened communications with us to see if there's a way to work this out.
Okay, all right. But just briefly for me, if you can do this for 30 seconds, I'll be happy. We've also been told that the jury was an 8-member jury. Why a 10-member jury? Why are you quoting 8 jury as against the 10 that we've been told about?
I wasn't. I'm on.
Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. That we're having some challenges with the line, but this is still News Night. Let's bring in George Weafe, who is bringing us business. George, what do we have in business?
Well, a lot of things happening in business because we're hearing from the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, who is saying that he doesn't actually rule out total cancellation of the Gold for Oil program, but as reviewed, commenced actually be getting more details on that one. And also the fact that some investors in the Eurobond have actually issued a legal action, whilst others are threatened to sue the commercial banks over the losses that they've suffered as a result of the restructuring of these bonds. We're hearing from the Chief Executive of the Association of Banks and what they make of these actions by these investors with respect to this action that has taken place. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery and Centers Tanks.
MNC Group is a leading investment holding company with expertise in mineral and food commodities trading, precious metal refinery, real estate development, logistics, and energy. With individually registered companies, our headquarters is located in Accra, Ghana, with our operational offices in Dubai, UAE, Hong Kong, and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg, South Africa, Virginia, United States of America, and Milan, Italy. We connect business markets and drive growth. Trust us to maximize value in every deal.
Call us on 030-255-1917 or 030-255-1918. Send us an email at mncgroup@mncgroupgh.com.
MNC Group, totally reliant.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Kingdom. Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST Campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Hey, dear sir. And you stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it say be you am na woche. Ni hu net na woche. No bia baby some wasem demuni ni na say. Dear ni hu say. Fair kwaye yesim biara so siesie wontare. Use stay soft and hu net na woche. Na ni bo so da from cra. E fabric softener. E ye near say sir. Choose to stay soft. Ne hu so say no. FDID edwadin krato yatu.
Cavity protection.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor has ruled out total cancellation of the Gold for Oil program. This comes as a committee has been set up by government to review the program is expected to begin their work in the coming days. Mr. Jinapor argues that aspects of the program that is good will be maintained.
The challenge with the previous system is that there were too many middlemen in the layer, and so you want to take all these middlemen out, and also you want to bring in the private sector players, the BDCs and the OMCs around the table, so that there is a high level of transparency. And so currently it's been suspended. We are forming a joint committee which will be jointly chaired by the Deputy Minister of Finance and the Deputy Minister of Energy. They will sit around with all the players and develop a proper roadmap so that we can have a working roadmap that serves both government and the private sector, and also to avoid a situation where, under the previous administration, the Bank of Ghana was taking a major hit. So far, our record shows that the Bank of Ghana incurred huge losses, almost about $1 billion thereabouts. And so you might satisfy one arm, but then it's been taken through the other arm. We don't want that. We want a workable, efficient system that protects both government and the private sector player and make that forex available.
Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor. Now, the Group Chief Executive of GOL, Edward Bauer, has indicated that measures have been instituted to improve the company's market share. It's coming after the firm lost out marginally its dominance in the oil marketing space. He spoke to Joy Business at the company's extraordinary general meeting to ratify its new board of directors.
The value of a company is definitely based on the performance of the company. And so that's what I made the statement that we want to see what the state looks today. Areas that were worked and worked very well, we'll just improve on them. Areas that we need to change and strategies that we need to change, we will change that. Because the ultimate aim is to ensure that there's appreciation of share, the value on the stock exchange. And of course, you heard one of the shareholders say payment of dividends, because that's the very reason why any person will want to invest his money in the company. And so these are the things we'll be looking at.
Edward Bauer is the Chief Executive of GOL Ghana PLC. Now, some Eurobond investors in Ghana have instituted measures to sue commercial banks over role played in the restructuring of their papers under the domestic debt exchange program. Joy Business understands that some of these bond holders are actually trying to cite these banks for the role that they played when it comes to selling the papers to them. The investors are now feeling the impact of the restructuring that took place somewhere around last year. Let's hear from the Chief Executive Association of Banks, John Ewa, who is arguing that the banks cannot be blamed in this situation because they actually acted as just agents for the government of Ghana.
We have monitored reports from some banks who have indicated to us that a few of their clients who are invested in the Eurobonds have either threatened legal action or may have instructed their lawyers to write to the banks threatening legal action against the banks. Unfortunately, you cannot have a recourse to the banks. The banks were distribution outlets. The issuer of the instrument is the government of Ghana, and the Eurobonds were issued under clear and unambiguous prospectus. Unlike the domestic debt bond exchange, where we did not have any recourse to any prospectus, the Eurobonds had prospectus which clearly said it included some collective action clauses, which said if a significant number of holders agree to some level of terms within the kind of situations that we had where it triggered default, then what they agree will be binding on all the other bondholders. I believe in Ghana's case was about 75% threshold. And the government of Ghana achieved that threshold, which means whatever negotiations that group agree as the final settlement terms will now become binding on all other holders of the Eurobond.
And that is the Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewa, responding to a report that we picked up that some Eurobond holders have sued the commercial banks who are role-played when it comes to restructuring their papers under the domestic debt exchange program. Now, economist Professor Lord Mensah is asking government to kickstart the process of extending the country's program with the IMF. Now, it follows reports that Ghana may not pass the full review in April this year as a result of not being able to meet some key targets under the program for last year. But Professor Mensah maintains that it will be prudent to have more time to stabilize the economy rather than rushing to give some waivers to Ghana.
One of the advantage we have gotten as a country is that we have, changed government, and the recent budget that was read clearly, gives some signal, kind of public financial discipline that this administration wants to go in. This is, I think, the fourth time the fund is coming for a review. On the side of the fund, it will be kind of disingenuous to terminate such contracts because they also benefit one way or the other for extending, such facilities. And while the economy gets in good footing, it also helps the fund. Deep neck into the fund, I'm not expecting that such economic indicators will stop them from extending the facility.
And Professor Lord Mensah is an economist, sharing his thought there, or making that strong argument that maybe we have to kickstart the process of extending the IMF program, looking at the fact that we may have missed out on those key targets under the program ending last year. Let's turn attention to the stock market. And if you have invested on the Ghana Stock Exchange from the beginning of this year to now, you made a return of more than 25%, that is year to date, compared to other investment instruments. That could be good for you if you are an investor out there. And that's all for Business on Newsnight. Back to you, Kojo. Brace the man from Ahanta.
Yes, Ahanta
man.
Buzia. And you mentioned a Grand Quanta and all of the places. I'm from a very beautiful community.
Okay.
I'll take you there for you to see Buzia and how beautiful it is. Especially our show. And especially Ahanta West. You see the beauty of Ahanta West. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
But imagine rush to the hospital in desperate need of care, only to be told, no bed, no treatment. That's the grim reality at Tafo Government Hospital, where a critical shortage of beds is forcing patients into hard floors and cramped corridors. My colleague Nana Boachi Yadom reviews a facility on the brink where the sick fight for space before they can even fight for their lives.
Infrastructure Structural development is a major part of healthcare delivery, but here at the Tafo Government Hospital, there is a deficit. Over here, there are no beds, with buildings stalled. It is a bedless and burdened situation for the hospital, as they are unable to provide quality healthcare for patients who need them. The corridors of the Tafo Government Hospital in the old Tafo municipality are narrow and crowded, with patients, relatives and medical staff jostling for space. As you step into the hospital, the sounds of desperation fill the air. Patients struggling for space, some on makeshift beds, others forced to sit or stand, waiting for attention from the overworked medical staff. This is the neonatal unit of the Tafo Government Hospital, and where I am standing it's very difficult to be in the midst of about 5 children and the nurses who are in here taking care of them in such a small building, and the congestion over here, you can really feel it when you enter. The room, they say, feels very hot with their air conditions even not operating, but this is the situation that they go through even in the neonatal unit of such a big hospital for a municipality.
It's really sad, I'll say that, because when we come and the place is choked like that, we find it so difficult to work. And
the hospital's congestion is not a new phenomenon, but it has worsened in recent years. The patient's population has grown exponentially, while the hospital's infrastructure has remained stagnant. Medical Superintendent Dr. Eric Kwamedetu bemoans the infrastructural deficit of the hospital.
Tafo Government Hospital is very old, but infrastructurally, if you ask me personally, I will not call it a hospital. We need to do something about it.
According to Dr. Kwamedetu, the congestion of the hospital forces them not to admit some patients.
In terms of the base, so sometimes you need to turn some of the people away because you can't admit all of them. Then you have a huge number also attending the ANC clinic, and it's done in a corridor where you have used TNJ to demarcate a consulting room for the midwives.
The maternity block, which was intended to provide a safe and comfortable space for expected mothers, has been under construction for 23 years with no end in sight. Dr. Kwamedetu says the stalled project has become a worry as its old block is deprived of space.
Since 2002, that is almost 23 years now, the project has not seen completion. It's not only the maternity that is small, the other wards are very small.
Patients and their relatives are also calling for help, frustrated by the lack of progress and the poor conditions at the hospital.
Congestion, yes. I stood up the whole of yesterday night. I didn't sleep. The bed is not enough for my baby and myself. So it's either this boy fell yesterday night because the bed is very little. The spaces, we can't even get places to keep our staffs. We have to keep our bags on the bed. So it's obvious. You can see for yourself. It is not comfortable. We are just managing and coping.
Small. The 23-year-old maternity block stands as a testament to the failure of the healthcare system, a reminder of the work that needs to be done to provide quality care to patients. For Joe News, my name is Dana Boachidanko Yadom, Kumasi.
So that says Nana Boachi Adam with that beautiful piece there. Time for us to bring you sports, and Razak Musbao is here.
Yeah, Kojo Brace ahead of the Black Stars' crucial 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Chad and Madagascar. Pressure is mounting on the team, not just from fans, but also from members of parliament who have been expressing frustration over the team's recent performances, urging them to step up and restore national pride. First, we hear from the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central and Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, and then the Member of Parliament for Okaikwe Central, Honorable Patrick Boama, who all urging the team to improve come Friday.
We need nothing but a win. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, it's disappointing that the Black Stars couldn't qualify for the 2025 AFCON. And the Black Stars, Mr. Speaker, have failed to win in their last 6 matches. That is not the Black Stars of Ghana. but there is something fundamentally wrong, and Minister, interference with the association football, there will be limitations, but you have to be firm. You have to be very, very firm in your dealings with it.
That's enough. It's not reasonable. It doesn't sit well with us for a team like Comoros to be beating us back to back. I don't understand. Honorable Haruna Idrisu's steadfast team in Tamale can beat Comoros. Why not our national team? So they need to be serious.
Well, meanwhile, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kofi Idi Adams, says he has been assured by the team of some better outcomes in their game against Chad and Madagascar.
Mr. Speaker, the Black Stars technical team has assured my ministry that all necessary preparations have been made and that the players are in high spirit, ready to give their all for the nation. This commitment is evident in the call-up squad released by the head coach. Beyond the tactics and selection, the technical team is tasked with instilling a winning mentality in our players. We must restore pride in the Black Stars jersey and ensure that our national team once again becomes a force to be reckoned with in African and global football.
That's the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kofi Idi Adams. So, Brace, the game is on Friday, 7 p.m. at the Crash Sports Stadium. And then they will travel to Morocco to face Madagascar on Tuesday. Two crucial World Cup qualifiers. Just in terms of opponent to watch, we'll play Madagascar on Tuesday in Morocco. Madagascar themselves, they've just beaten Central African Republic, who are also in our group, by some 3-1 as of the last time I checked. So it's really important, because what it means is the Black Stars need to win, get this 6 points to boost their chances of qualifying.
Can we be given holiday on that day so we can go?
We have to talk to President Mahama about that. Or you mean
no?
in the
I mean yes. They should give us off on Friday so we can go and support
even
the
national
Black
holidays. Don't go home, so we can.
All right. Now, away from that, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Teteyonu, has made sweeping changes within the Ghana Police Service, reassigning several regional commanders and police board members. The reshuffle comes less than a week after he took over from Dr. George Akufo-Dampare as the IGP. Joining us in studio is James Savaji with details of the reshuffle. James, what are the notable appointments?
Well, Brace, you know that, the former Director General of the police in charge of the CID, who is just the immediate past boss of IOCO, COP Mamia Tiwa Adodankwa, has been brought back to the police, and she is the new Director General in charge of research and planning. COP Paul Manley Awini, who COPs who work closely with the former IGP, is now deployed to be Director Service Workshop in Accra. COP Daniel Kwame Free is now Director General in charge of private security organizations. And COP Dr. Ernest Kwabena Usu is Director General in charge of special victim case services, with some other deployment. The CID itself will now be headed by COP Faustina A.K. Ando Kofi, and the Legal Affairs Department will be headed by COP Joseph Oklu Jamra. There are some other appointment to the regional levels as well. DCOP Duty Tuaruka will be in charge of the Ashanti region. DCOP Francis Kwame Chidi will be in charge of the Western region. DCOP Abraham Akwe will be in charge of the Central region. DCOP Yao Dogbe Tetegan will be in charge, will be the regional commander, and ACP Wisdom Akoli will be in charge of the Volta region. Western North region would be commanded by ACP Joshua Copson, and the Northern region commanded by ACP Wisdom Lavoy. The Director of Public Affairs Directorate still is being headed by the ACP Grace Ansa Akrofi, who is known to many, including the media fraternity. And so those are some of the key appointments. The full list of the appointment is available on myjoyonline.com. So that's what we're picking up, Brace.
All right, so there's more of that, as Aviji said, on myjoyonline.com. And that's how we wrap up today's bulletin news night here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Thanks for being here, company. Yeah.